Good afternoon and welcome to SNU Reels. You are watching Unscripted. Yes, after a gap, we are back with a new edition of Unscripted. And in the new edition, we are starting with a guest who actually doesn't need any introduction. Still, formal introduction should be given, and that is why I'm introducing to you the guest of today, eminent sociologist Dr. Bula Bhadra, Professor Emeritus and Director, Center for Interdisciplinary Studies and Research, Sister Nivedita University. Ma'am, welcome to our program and welcome back to Unscripted.
Thank you very much.
In the previous edition also, we had ma'am as our guest, but of course in the new edition we have come up with some new information and some new messages from ma'am. So let's start with that, madam. In the last edition also, we have talked about the different aspects of a subject, SNU, but for those who are watching our program in this new edition or starting watching this program from this new edition, the first I would like to ask you, ma'am, why is Sister Nivedita University, lovingly we call it SNU, why is unique and why it should be the choice for the new generation students?
Thank you for asking this question, because this is the most important question in terms of knowing an university. Results are out, so people are restless in terms of getting admission. Now, what makes SNU very, very different is creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, dynamism and research. SNU is one of those universities whose mission and vision are based on inclusion and also excellence. So in a way, I'll give examples in terms of SNU's new things. SNU is the only university, so far I know, that has performing arts as a total subject. That means you can do BA and MA in performing arts, and International School of International Languages and Agriculture, School of Agriculture. All these are not combined in the universities like big universities we have in our state, very famous and very prestigious universities, but they don't have this, all these, in their curriculum. The benefit of this is, in a choice-based system, CBCS, you can take one from this course and another from this course. That means the student's aptitude and interest is very much honored in SNU. And according to NAEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, that's exactly what a student should do. A physics student should be able to take music as a choice-based elective. So obviously, this is one of the places where you have lots of variety offered to you in one plate, and you can choose your own take. That's what SNU is. Actually, it's in the name of Sister Nivedita, who had shown us a vision which is very clear to us, and we are following the vision to the extent possible.
And madam, you have already mentioned about CBCS system and NEP. So CBCS system and NEP has changed the format of academics in our country. So as you have already mentioned about Sister Nivedita University, that the students can benefit from this interdisciplinary courses. Can you please elaborate on this, that how SNU is matching steps with this new academic format?
Okay. SNU is about 5 years, some month old. It was started in, Act was passed in 2017. It started giving in some subject academic programs from 2018. So it's about to be 6 years, and within this short period, SNU has shown us that their students are quite creative, innovative. They're getting, they're going to the competition, and most of the departments are getting, students are getting prizes. That means on the upper rank. So within this much period, SNU makes, our impact really in the academic world. One other focus where I am closely associated is emphasis on interdisciplinary studies and research.
Yes.
Now, this makes us, say that we're deviating from the so-called, somewhat shadow colonial type education in India to an independent sort of an education where IKS is indigenous knowledge system, is being emphasized and being offered many places. Irrespective of all the controversies about IKS, I would say that if we look to the West, generally we look to the West, Europe and America, what they're doing. They have been doing interdisciplinary studies for the last 40 to 50 years. So around about after the Second World War, the trend was we do not study problems in terms of a basic one. I'm sorry, we do not study disciplines. We study problems as students, so that we can understand that any problem is very complicated and you can never understand a problem from only one side. So this was called so in a sense what we are telling is that if you just study physics or mathematics or political science or sociology, your education is incomplete. That is why you can take some of the other disciplines, some of the subjects which you feel like will enrich you. And this is absolutely the academic environment in post Second World War period, and we are in the 21st century. If we look at American universities, Canadian universities and some of the European universities, Australian universities and Hong Kong, etc., you will see that nobody studies one subject. They always study some basic things of other subjects. You can see all problems are complex. Only interdisciplinary studies can actually address complex problems. Interdisciplinary is based on the fact that you are not a single discipline. You have to know another. For example, even in sociology, we studied statistics. We call it social statistics. Why we do that? Because in the whole world the report comes in terms of statistical terms, so that our literacy is developed. Maybe I can show one slide, two slides actually, and people can understand that what I am talking about.
Yes, can we have the slide please?
Can we have the slide shown please?
Ma'am, you may continue.
Okay, it's done. Okay, you can see that we talked about disaster. Now, we all live in our modern world with disasters, this or that. So in disaster, your bigger environment is the social one, natural environment, built environment where we actually exploited nature, and technological system. So disaster is all of these. If you only study social system, you won't be able to explain disaster. You have to study the technological too. When you study technology, you have to study environment and how it is related, and education, health, any field, you got to have some kind of a basic idea, most of the subjects. Now see, what are the things you have to talk about? You have to talk about social, public administration, that means policies and public policies, and natural situation, medicine, and what are the risks involved in this kind of study? What are the demerits of it? Then formal sciences, urban planning, business, engineering, education, humanities. Let's see, I'll give you a concrete example, so I'm going to the next slide. What would interdisciplinary team do with the COVID? I mean, this is just, we are not finished COVID yet, but probably last stage and next one is ready to come, sort of. So what an interdisciplinary system do or researcher do? First, our subject is, unit of analysis is patient and family. Don't forget that. Not only patient, because any kind of public possessions is that, COVID is not alone matter. You are just not alone in COVID. You affect your whole family. So in the whole family, the first would be coming physicians, then bereavement counselor if the death is there. Of course, in COVID we have lost lots of
Many
people.
lives.
Home health advisor, what to do at home if you are not being hospitalized. Spiritual counselor, that means actually counseling. All counseling are spiritual in that sense. Then social workers, therapists, nurse. So how many subjects we have now? We have medicine, we have bereavement counselor after death, we have home health, that means somebody who will come and in the home and tell you what to do and what not to do. Social workers, therapist, nurse, and above all, actually, what is your economic situation, which is we study in social system. So only an interdisciplinary understanding can do this research. Now, if you do a research only from the physician's point of view, that's a one point of view.
Yes, from different aspects we have to understand.
We have to understand. Modern world has been actually, let me go the first one we started with. We are not students of some subjects matter, but students of problems. Any problem may cut right across the borders of any subject, matter or discipline. So we don't study particular, nature and scope of so and so. We study the issues, and in studying an issue, you always need actually multiple of people. I'll give you an example. University of Wisconsin in United States of America has a department called Women's Gender Studies, Biological Reproduction, and State Economy. I mean, what a bizarre kind of understanding to us. We don't have any interdisciplinary thing going on. Now here I bring back SNU again. SNU is one of those universities at the age of 4, when it was actually 4.5,
yes.
when it was actually initiated, that Center for Interdisciplinary Studies and Research was established in SNU. None of the universities in Eastern India has this. All are only cutting on in ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research. There are, in all over India there are 25, 30 centers of that. But that's not interdisciplinary studies. That is actually mostly dominated by social science people.
Sciences.
Because science people do not ask from ICSSR project or fellow. They have CSIR, they have DST, etc., Department of Science and Technology. Now, what actually we did with this interdisciplinary studies and research, we started formally from January 23, and we have completed now about 17 months.
Yes.
So our baby
Almost
is
1.5
yeah, our baby is younger than even SNU. 17 months. What we have done, I think, we should actually tell people how we do interdisciplinary things. What is then interdisciplinarity? If we are going back to that, appropriate combination of knowledge from many different specialties, engaged to shed new light on an actual problem, because whole world is now connected, and it is called the development of knowledge society. We are studying in a knowledge society. We are not just studying in in a society. There is a specific position because the whole world is connected.
Yes.
Because now there is no problem in calling anybody. I mean, we can call Washington in a jiffy.
Yes.
There is no doubt about it. So we have webinars, we have seminars online.
Online seminars. Yeah.
Online teaching. So this is a revolutionary electronic actually situation, and this fourth revolution, as experts call it, this has made the world a very different one. As an American McLuhan economist told us, that global village.
Yes.
So obviously from the last 20th century to up till now, about say 3.5 decades or so, we live in a world which we did not know ever.
Right. So, this Center for Interdisciplinary Studies and Research, which ma'am you have started and already have mentioned about the activities. In fact, those who are the regular viewers of the Adda Boitok organized by this institute, I would like to ask ma'am to just elaborate about two things. Number one is the Adda Boitok, the topics of Adda Boitok, just a few examples that our viewers can understand better. And the secondly, the youngsters who are watching this program or who are thinking about taking an admission into the different courses of SNU, how they will benefit from this interdisciplinary studies and research.
Okay. See, let's talk about first the nomenclature, Adda Boitok. There is no such Adda Boitok in all over India anywhere.
Yes.
Because this is given following Sister Nivedita actually herself. Sister Nivedita, while she was in London, they all formed a club called Sesame Club.
Yes.
And Sister Nivedita used to go there regularly. In fact, Thomas Hardy, great people, eminent people that time actually used to go there and discourses were taking place. Now, while doing work on Sister Nivedita, I found this out, and then to my mind say that, well, seminar, webinar, seminar is cliche, so is webinar going to be soon. So let's give a new name in the sense that we have free-floating discussion, no inhibitions. Our Adda Boitok starting at 3 o'clock, often finished at 6 o'clock, though it formally 5 o'clock is the deadline. So I thought myself that we can call it Adda, but that is, not really representing the research part, the innovative part. So we will call it Adda Boitok. We have added actually in the vocabulary of interdisciplinary research, Adda Boitok of SNU, which is a very novel one. And what we do, we have started, the first Adda Boitok was on discussion and analysis in education policy in contemporary India, meaning mostly NEP 2020, its faults, its merits, etc. And who are the speakers? We got two very eminent people, Shukanta Chaudhuri, Professor Emeritus, Jadavpur University, and Amitabh Rai Chaudhuri, Bhatnagar awardee in Calcutta University. Both of them had paid some discussion, and actually we had deliberations up to 6:15 on the first Adda Boitok, because no one was saying that no, you cannot talk. So it's a different structure which has attracted people. I have offers from many universities saying, let's do the Adda Boitok jointly. Then I said, why? This is very new.
Yes.
And the way you are telling
concept.
about it, yeah. So some of the thing we did, which most of the Eastern India University do not do, and some Northern also. One of them is our second Adda Boitok in February was gender and science, which is a very, very neglected arena other than women's studies or gender studies. But we made it that it has to be included in the core curriculum, of course. Then we had Bengali feminist. We did movement therapy, dance as movement therapy. See, for us or for interdisciplinary researchers, there is no bars, or we call it silo. There is no bars or silo to say that this is my discipline, this is your discipline. No.
Right.
We think dance, singing, what you call performing arts, are very much part of our social discussion about the issue. For example, we have done dance movement therapy, well-being and rehabilitation. We take things as it exists in the society, not sort of manufacture research project. This exists, and from all angles with that. So a dance movement therapy, I remember that day, those who participated, they were very happy. We had a practical session of how you do therapy, which is very common now, because mental health has become a real problem, or we have recognized that mental health is a problem. Then we did Banglar Karukriti, which is archaeology, architecture and ornamentation. We all know India is full of temples, but what do they actually imply? They imply the development level of the let's say Southern India, development level of Southern India at a particular time, which was able to architecturally have that. For example, architecture of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa was so great that we are still studying, and it is absolutely true that they had the technology. Right. So while talking about technology, we have to also talk about that. So language, communication, sustainable development, media credibility, legacy and significance of Chaujapot. See, we actually believe in last 50 years about holistic education.
Absolutely.
Without holistic education, you really can't grasp. So what we do from center, we do faculty development program. We did 4 faculty development program. One was how to write academically, academic and research writings. Number 2 was decolonial knowledge and post-colonial studies. See, this decolonial knowledge in post-colonial studies, one of the biggest area in the whole global situation. Most people who were colonized and now not colonies are working on this to show what kind of IKS, here comes indigenous knowledge, what kind of IKS, indigenous knowledge we used to have, and why there are problems in our educational system that we cannot capture or capitalize on the indigenous knowledge system. And intersectionality and mixed method research was the third one. Fourth one was everyday technologies in the modern world. See, all of these were actually brought. We had people from nursing, we had people from physics, we had people from all social sciences, and we had people from performing arts. We always kept performing arts with us, because it's one thing we must understand. When human beings didn't have knowledge, 2 things they used to do. They used to draw
yes,
on the caves, and they used to dance. By dancing, they used to say. So those things are very important, and we in our Adda Boy-Talks and our short courses had them performing. So that make very interesting things. We have also proposed to the university for 1 certificate course and 1 PG diploma, which is UGC's very pet situation now. Most of the universities are trying to open PG diplomas, but since we had a misfortune of losing our Vice President of Techno India, Mrs. Mourai Chaudhuri, we haven't yet heard from the university, but I'm sure we will hear and it will be positive. One is the PG diploma we are looking for is science, technology, culture and society. Everywhere you will have science, technology and society, but we have added culture. That is the new element. Yes. Because see, when we use technology, suppose we don't write letters anymore. You thought about that? We don't write letters anymore. Why? Because we make SMS, we make texts.
Yes.
And telegram has been abolished. What was the emergency news can go in a jiffy through computer.
Yes.
So we have to understand this, and that makes actually a great influence on society, how society thinks, and there becomes a problem. One group of digital haves, another group of digital have-nots. So obviously these are the things we need analyze in order for students to do good research, or even multinational companies are hiring people with this kind of interdisciplinary things. IIT Jodhpur has opened up MSc in digital humanities. So obviously we are changing things that way, and center is pioneering in this case in SNU. So we have also actually give long back during COVID the certificate course on parenting and child rights and child protection. So we think that all discipline students, all researchers should have an interdisciplinary background. And these days IBM hires sociologists because they will understand social problems better, and they give a training, and they just like
Yes, actually previously it was a concept, it was a common concept that the IT companies, IT organizations will hire only those who are IT professionals.
Right.
But nowadays the things have changed a lot.
Absolutely changed a lot. I mean, more engineers, more unemployed we take than a sociology graduate. So problem is we have to do what the world is like. Interdisciplinary studies with bent on research. See, you can have a basic degree in anything, and then you can have a PG diploma 1 year, because basic BA degrees are now 4 years following in North America, and then you can have a 1 year PG diploma and you can have a job, because organizations, institutions now want you to have a interdisciplinary background so that they can utilize you more and your talent. See, previously we could have never thought of physics and music having any kind of relationship,
Amalgamation.
or say sociology and statistics, or say political science and chemistry. But now we have, because what we use is not just simply because we use because that is available within the circumstances, yes, etc. So without contexting, without the context, whatever research you do is meaningless, because when you do research you have to be editing, like mass media and communication in India. It also varies according to states, the way you do it, and also varies with the so-called European or American media. Even within American media, there are so interdisciplinary studies and research. The center established by SNU is one of the most innovative. As I said, SNU is innovative, creative and dynamic. It's one of the most dynamic act, and we're actually, I must say that I'm having a good time, in a sense that those Adda Boithaks and those courses are becoming very successful, that we are even given university surplus in terms of paying things. University is getting surplus, and we have more or less actually people are increasingly coming out for Adda Boithak. Adda Boithak has become very popular. We are very happy that people are coming to us, and we will say that in an interdisciplinary world you must be thinking in terms of interdisciplinarity.
And the Adda Boithak, which was I'm mentioning, Adda Boithak, in absolutely in Bengali colloquial, Adda, we understand Adda means Adda, but exchange of thoughts. সেই আড্ডা আর বৈঠক দুটোকে যদি একসঙ্গে মেলানো যায় তার আউটকাম কি হতে পারে, সেই আড্ডা আর বৈঠকের অ্যামালগামেশনে কিন্তু আমরা অনেক কিছু জানতে পারি। ইনফ্যাক্ট দ্যাট ইজ দ্য target of the new kind of education after NEP, after the CBCS system has been introduced. What ma'am has explained in details, the new approach to academics is the holistic approach, and for that interdisciplinary studies, interdisciplinary research is absolutely necessary, which SNU is doing regularly. So the young guys who are watching this program, we invite you to join in this journey of SNU. You can be a part of this journey of interdisciplinary studies, this Adda Boithak and everything. Thank you, ma'am, for your very kind deliberation and all this explanation. I suppose the young generation, the young students and also the other viewers who have watched this program has got a clear idea about what modern education is right now and what is going to be. So thank you for watching the program. Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you very much.
We are come to the end of this edition of Unscripted. I am Saikat Majumder, your host, Assistant Professor, Journalism and Mass Communication Department, Sister Nivedita University, is assuring you we will be coming back with more episodes in this newer edition of Unscripted. Keep watching Unscripted, keep watching SNU Reels. Thank you so much.